Live from New Delhi, you're watching DD India News Hour, India's voice to the world. I'm Siddharth Bharadwaj. Coming up in the next hour. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to lay the foundation stone of the Kaziranga elevated corridor in Assam, will also inaugurate development projects in West Bengal. US President Trump imposes 10% tariffs on 8 European nations from February 1st over Greenland row. EU ambassadors to hold emergency meeting. EU Mercosur bloc signed free trade deal after 25 years of negotiations amid concerns over global tariffs isolationism. And in sports, with one win apiece, India and New Zealand gear up for a high voltage series decider in the third and the final ODI in Indore today. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will lay the foundation stone of the Kaziranga elevated corridor worth over 6,950 crore at Kaliabor in Assam. The 86-kilometer long Kaziranga elevated corridor project is an environmentally conscious national highway project. It will feature 35-kilometer of elevated wildlife corridor that will pass through Kaziranga National Park. The project will pass through Nagaon, Karbi Anglong and Golaghat districts and will significantly improve connectivity to Upper Assam. The elevated wildlife corridor will ensure uninterrupted movement of animals, reduce human-wildlife conflict. It will also enhance road safety, reduce travel time and accident rates. As part of the project, bypasses will be developed at Jakhalabanda and Bokakhat that will help to decongest towns, improve urban mobility and enhance the quality of life for local residents. During the program, Prime Minister will also flag off 2 new Amrit Bharat Express trains, Guwahati Kamakhya Rohtak Amrit Bharat Express and Dibrugarh Lucknow Gomti Nagar Amrit Bharat Express. These new train services will strengthen rail connectivity between the northeast and northern India, enabling safer and more convenient travel for the people. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will also be visiting West Bengal Singur on Sunday to inaugurate multiple development projects worth around 830 crore rupees. DD India's Deepika Mehto sends us this report from Singur, in which you can listen into the local residents who express their excitement.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi is on a 2-day visit to West Bengal. After dedicating and inaugurating various development-led projects in Malda and with the idea of ensuring 360-degree development of West Bengal, PM Modi will now visit Singur in Hooghly on Sunday. The PM will inaugurate and lay the foundation stone of various development projects worth more than 830 crore rupees. During his visit, Prime Minister will lay the foundation stone of the extended port gate system at Balagar, including an inland water transport terminal and a road over bridge. Spanning an area of approximately 900 acres, Balagar is being developed as a modern cargo handling terminal with an envisaged capacity of about 2.7 million tons per annum. The project includes the construction of 2 dedicated cargo handling jetties, one for the containerized cargo and one for dry bulk cargo. Prime Minister will launch a state-of-the-art electric catamaran in Kolkata. This is one of the 6 electric catamarans indigenously built for inland water transport by Kochi Shipyard Limited. The vessel will support urban river mobility, ecotourism and last-mile passenger connectivity along the Hooghly River. Prime Minister will also inaugurate the Joyrambati Borogopinathpur Mainapur new rail line. This line is an important part of the Tarakeshwar Bishnupur new rail line project. Along with the new rail line, a new train service between Mainapur and Jairambati will also be flagged off. It will provide direct rail connectivity to the residents of Bankura district, making travel more affordable and convenient for daily commuters, students and pilgrims. Prime Minister will also flag off 3 Amrit Bharat Express trains. Kolkata Anand Vihar Terminal Amrit Bharat Express, Kolkata Banaras Amrit Bharat Express, and Kolkata Tambaram Amrit Bharat Express. Ahead of Prime Minister Narendra Modi's visit to Singur, the local residents expressed their hopefulness of a developed Singur that offers job opportunities for youth and employment for women.
हम जो युवा है आज 40 साल हो गया, कुछ काम भी नहीं है, मेरा परिवार दिक्कत होता है संसार चलाने के लिए। हम लोग सिंगूर से सब यंग युवा जो है हम प्रधानमंत्री से आग्रह करेंगे जो सिंगूर का इस पुण्य भूमि में वो जो आ रही है यशस्वी प्रधानमंत्री जी, सिंगूर वासी को युवाओं को यहाँ पे काम मिलेगा, रोजगार मिलेगा।
तो यहाँ पे रोजगार भी आएगी, सबको सुरक्षा भी मिलेगा और आसपास में जो छोटा छोटा दुकान भी लेकर बैठेगा। जब कारखाना चालू हो जाएगा मोदी जी के बढ़ जाएगी।
With an aim to develop areas like Singur, which have a rich potential of hosting an array of industries, ensuring extended benefits to the local residents as well, the projects will ensure connectivity, employment opportunity, and add more strength to India's vision of becoming a developed nation by the year 2047.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi's visit to Singur is being seen as a very important step for the development of Singur and especially for the development of West Bengal. People here are expecting more job employment opportunities and better ways to create a better livelihood. And Prime Minister Narendra Modi is all set to lay the foundation stone of projects worth around 830 crore rupees for the people of Singur. With camera person Sunil Rana, this is Deepika reporting for DD India from Singur, West Bengal.
And my colleague Deepika Mehto joins me from Singur. Hi Deepika, very good morning to you. Deepika, tell us about the development projects that Prime Minister Narendra Modi will be inaugurating today, and how will these projects will improve the connectivity and boost trade in the region as well?
Good morning, Siddharth. First of all, the very fact that Prime Minister Narendra Modi is going to hold a rally in Singur is itself of a lot of significance, because when we talk about the relationship that Singur have had with the industries in the past, that speaks volumes about it, and what happened with Tata speaks volumes about it. But now Prime Minister Narendra Modi himself coming here in Singur and launching so many industrial projects and so many developmental-led projects worth around 380 crore rupees will not only give a lot of benefits but will also boost the confidence of the local people here in Singur, if we talk about it. Now secondly, when we talk about the development-led projects, as you also saw in the report, there is a special focus on Balagad and the inland ports, because Balagad is all set to become a modern terminal, modern cargo terminal. So there is a special focus on that also. There will be catamarans, 3 catamarans, electric catamarans that will be launched. Apart from that, when we talk about the development-led projects, train services, not only the train line but also a new train will also be launched by Prime Minister Narendra Modi, apart from the 3 new Amrit Bharat trains that we are talking about. So in the 380 crore rupees funded project that will be inaugurated, that will be announced by Prime Minister Narendra Modi from the grounds of Singur today, it will be a huge success, not only in the terms of Prime Minister Narendra Modi sending a very strong message to the entire state of West Bengal, and the idea, ensuring the idea of having a developed Singur, considering the past history of Singur. Prime Minister Narendra Modi is gifting a lot of development projects. Now, if we talk about that, what sort of benefits this will get Singur, the people of Singur will get. We had a word with a lot of local people yesterday in Singur, and they said that these announcements will not only ensure employment opportunities, job opportunities for the localites here, but will give a lot of confidence. Not only this, the youth and the women, they were equally happy with all the announcements that will be made today in the afternoon by Prime Minister Narendra Modi, because they were awaiting these developments from a very long time. So when we had a word with them, many of them said that women, they really want to put up, small stalls at the roadside. They really want to save and have a financial security. And these projects will not only boost the economy of West Bengal per se, but will also give a lot of confidence to the women here, to the youth here, who will not only get employment opportunities, but they will also be saved from migrating to other states, and they will get many-fold benefits here in their respective land. Siddharth.
Oh, definitely. It will give a lot of confidence to women and youth as well, Deepika, like you mentioned. Deepika, Prime Minister Narendra Modi will also flag off 3 Amrit Bharat trains. Tell us about these trains and how these trains will help as far as ease of travel for the passengers is concerned. Deepika, can you hear me? Deepika, am I audible? Prime Minister Narendra Modi will be flagging off 3 new Amrit Bharat Express trains. And our correspondent Deepika Mehto is in Singur. And she was telling us that these projects will be giving confidence to the youth and women here, and will also help in the overall development of the region. And the Ministry of Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises is organizing PM Vishwakarma Haat 2026 exhibition from Sunday in New Delhi. The exhibition is dedicated exclusively to artisans and craftspeople under the PM Vishwakarma scheme. It will provide a prominent platform for artisans to exhibit and market their handcrafted products to national and international buyers, stakeholders and the general public. More than 117 artisans from all states and union territories across the country will participate in the event, making it a pan-India representation of diverse traditional skills and crafts. The representatives from foreign missions have also been invited to the PM Vishwakarma Haat 2026. The event will culminate on 31st of this month and will remain open to the public from 10:30 a.m. to 10 p.m. India's Directorate General of Civil Aviation has found serious lapses by IndiGo with regard to flight disruptions that took place in December 2025. The DGCA has slapped a fine of rupees 22.2 crores on IndiGo for its flight disruptions in December 2025. Regulator asks airline to submit rupees 50 crores in bank guarantees. The aviation regulator said the action was taken after reviewing the airline's operational lapses that led to widespread inconvenience for passengers during the period. Polish Deputy Prime Minister and Foreign Minister Radoslaw Sikorski will be attending the Jaipur Literature Festival on Sunday, engaging in sessions that bridge culture and global ideas. The 2026 edition of the Jaipur Literature Festival fosters powerful literary discourse, bringing together leading voices from literature, politics, science and the arts. The festival is a forum for diverse perspectives and meaningful exchange. Polish Deputy Prime Minister's 3-day visit culminates on Monday in New Delhi, where he will meet External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar to discuss bilateral cooperation, security and defense. The engagement underscores the growing strategic partnership between the two nations. Motegi Toshimitsu, Foreign Minister of Japan, along with Ono Kiichi, Japanese Ambassador to India, took a ride on Delhi Metro on Saturday. The delegation was briefed about the Delhi Metro project by senior Delhi Metro Rail Cooperation officials at Central Secretariat, followed by a train ride from Central Secretariat to Patel Chowk and back. During his visit, the Japan Foreign Minister showed keen interest about various aspects of the construction and operation of the Delhi Metro, which is a proud symbol of Indo-Japanese friendship and collaboration. The Japan International Cooperation Agency has extended financial support to Delhi Metro project right since Phase 1. And still to come on DD India News Hour. Several countries receive invite to join Gaza Board of Peace by the United States. We'll tell you more about this. Stay tuned. We'll also tell you about the solidarity demonstrations by Iranian community in different countries. And families hold candlelight vigil outside El Helicoide prison in Caracas. You're watching DD News Hour. I am Siddharth Bharadwaj. Ambassadors from the European Union's 27 countries are in huddle after US President Donald Trump vowed a wave of increasing tariffs on European allies until the United States is allowed to buy Greenland. EU ambassadors are going to convene an emergency meeting over the row. Trump said 10% tariffs would take effect on February 1st on imports from Denmark, Norway, Sweden, France, Germany, Great Britain, the Netherlands and Finland. Tariffs may rise to 25% on June 1st and remaining in place until a deal is reached. European leaders criticized the move, backing Denmark and warning the tariff threat could undermine NATO and destabilize transatlantic ties. European countries said they were coordinated a response, while EU Foreign Policy Chief Kaja Kallas said tariffs from in fact harm prosperity on both sides of the Atlantic. Meanwhile, protesters gathered in Nuuk to protest against Trump's plans for the US to take over the Danish autonomous territory.
It's very tiring and it takes a lot of energy, and what we want to use our energy on is just to live here, live with each other, live in peace and in the country that we love and we respect. We know the Arctic, we know our country, and we are the ones to care for it. And it's been quite a big pressure from the whole world for us to take decision. We didn't never ask to have this situation. We never asked for this position we have right now, situation. So we just want to live in peace and quiet in our country. So we hope this pressure will be removed from us.
And EU Commission President Ursula von der Leyen said that territorial integrity and sovereignty are fundamental principles of international law and essential for Europe and the global community. She emphasized Europe's commitment to Arctic security, NATO cooperation and full solidarity with Denmark and Greenland. Mercosur and the European Union signed a major trade agreement in Paraguay's capital, Asuncion, after more than 25 years of negotiations. The agreement will reduce tariffs to boost trade between the regions and has been approved by a majority of European countries. The ceremony was attended by the presidents of Argentina, Paraguay and Uruguay, while Brazilian President Lula da Silva was represented by his foreign minister. President of European Commission Ursula von der Leyen called on deal. In fact, she called the deal phenomenal, saying it reflects a clear choice for fair trade and long-term cooperation.
We are creating the largest free trade zone in the world. This agreement sends a very strong message to the world. It reflects a clear and deliberate choice. We choose fair trade over tariffs. We choose a productive, long-term partnership over isolation.
The president of Paraguay, Santiago Peña, acknowledged lost opportunities due to delays but urged bold, courageous action to deepen and strengthen the union.
The reality is that we have lost a lot of time getting here, and we could have reached an even more beneficial agreement. We could have done more. We could have achieved more benefits for our people. That's why today, I would also like to issue a challenge to everyone. Let's look to the future with more courage, with more boldness, with more audacity, and let's deepen our perfectible union even further.
Argentine President Javier Milei stressed that the spirit of the agreement must be preserved during implementation, warning that quotas or restrictive measures could reduce its impact and undermine its goals.
But I want to insist on something. It is fundamental that during the implementation stage, the spirit of what was negotiated is preserved. The incorporation of mechanisms that restrict the access, such as quotas, safeguards, or measures of equivalent effect, will significantly reduce the economic impact of the agreement and will undermine its essential objective. We have to ensure in our parliaments that this does not happen.
Tensions flare in downtown Minneapolis as anti-immigration and customs enforcement protesters scuffled with demonstrators at a rally organized by an online activist who took part in January 6, 2021 attack on US Capitol. Jake Lang One of more than 1,500 people pardoned by President Donald Trump after their criminal convictions related to the attack on the U.S. Capitol in 2021 had called for an anti-fraud march. In response to this, outside Minneapolis City Hall, anti-ICE protesters pulled down the banners, leading to brief clashes. The protest comes amid continued outrage over the January 7 killing of Renee Good, a U.S. citizen shot by an ICE agent, as thousands of federal immigration agents remain deployed across the Minneapolis-St. Paul area. Mexican military and police have arrested a man accused in 2016 murder of a woman in the United States, where the FBI had named him one of its 10 most wanted fugitives. Alejandro Castillo was captured in the city of Pachuca in Mexico and is accused of killing a woman with whom he worked at a restaurant in North Carolina. Mexico's security officials said the accused had a red notice and an arrest warrant for extradition and is charged with first-degree murder, armed robbery, vehicle theft and kidnapping. The FBI had offered a $250,000 reward for information leading to Castillo's capture. Moving on to updates from Donald Trump's ambitious Gaza peace plan, U.S. President has invited the presidents of Egypt, Turkey, Argentina and Canada to join his newly created Gaza Board of Peace. Argentinian President Javier Milei announced that he would accept his position on the board, posting the offer letter from Trump on social media platform X. Egyptian and Turkey also confirmed to receiving a letter from the U.S. President. The White House announced the board's creation on Friday as part of the Trump administration's efforts to advance its 20-point peace plan for the region. Trump will head the executive board, accompanied by Secretary of State Marco Rubio, Special Envoy Steve Witkoff and his son-in-law Jared Kushner. Former UK Prime Minister Tony Blair, World Bank President Ajay Banga and billionaires Robert Gabriel and Mark Rowan will also have membership on the board. In a statement posted on social media platform X, Blair called the committee's assemblage a massive step forward. But Israel has objected to the lineup of Gaza panel that will operate under U.S. President, which oversees post-conflict governance in the Palestinian territory. The office of Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said that the announcement regarding the composition of the Gaza Executive Board, which is subordinate to the Board of Peace, was not coordinated with Israel and runs contrary to its policy. Prime Minister Netanyahu has instructed the Foreign Affairs Minister to contact the U.S. Secretary of State on this matter. In Syria, government forces advanced into northern Kurdish-held territories on Saturday, seizing control of Deir Hafir, east of Aleppo, and entering Tabqa in Raqqa province, including its military airport and 2 oil fields amid stalled integration talks from a March agreement. Clashes intensified despite a Friday withdrawal deal, with the Syrian Democratic Forces accusing Damascus of betrayal after attacks near Maksana killed soldiers. President Ahmed al-Shara's decree elevated Kurdish to a national language and restored citizenship, but Kurds dismissed it as an inadequate without constitutional safeguards. U.S. Central Command urged halting offensives between Aleppo and Tabqa, while France and Iraqi Kurdistan called for de-escalation. Protests in support of Iranian demonstrators spread across Europe. In London, more than 1,000 protesters gathered outside the Iranian embassy, calling for freedom in Iran as demonstrations continued over the situation inside the country. Internet blackouts complicated access to information. Iran's supreme leader, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, blamed U.S. President Donald Trump for weeks of protests that began on December 28 over economic hardship.
The atmosphere is amazing. I mean, we are sad, we are devastated, we are heartbroken because we haven't heard from our family in Iran for like a week now. We don't know what's going on, if they're alive or not. But here, we are standing beside them and we are being their voice to put the IRGC on the terrorist list, which for years we have done campaigns and still it's not happened. We want this embassy shut down because this is the house of terror.
People celebrated in Kampala after Ugandan President Yoweri Museveni and won a 7th term in office following an election marred by violence and an internet shutdown. Museveni won 71.65% of the vote, extending his nearly 40-year rule as reports emerged of at least 10 deaths and intimidation of the opposition in civil society. He defeated opposition figure Bobby Wine, who rejected what he called fake results and said he was in hiding after reported security raid on his home. Claims police denied, as heavy security deployments were seen across the capital to prevent protests. Guinea's newly elected president, Mamadi Doumbouya, was formally sworn in on Saturday, marking the end of 4 years of military rule and the return of constitutional governance. Doumbouya won the presidential election with nearly 87% of the vote, following the adoption of a new constitution in 2025. Officials say his inauguration signals the start of a new chapter of national stability and unity in Guinea. Doumbouya, who first seized power in a 2021 coup, now assumes office with a civilian mandate. In the latest from Venezuela, relatives of detainees held a candlelight vigil overnight outside El Helicoide prison in Caracas, demanding freedom for prisoners. Venezuelan human rights group confirmed that 139 people it classifies as political prisoners have been released since early January. Earlier, Venezuela's interim president, Delcy Rodriguez, had said that 406 people had been freed from prison as part of an ongoing release process. Foro Penal, a local NGO that provides legal support to detainees, said that at least 800 political prisoners were behind bars at the beginning of this year, but the government denies holding people for political reasons. Let's take a look at other stories making news around the world. Saudi Arabia hosted the annual Joy Awards on Saturday, bringing together music stars, film icons, athletes and public figures under one roof for celebrating achievements across entertainment and popular culture. Held as part of Riyadh season, the event drew regional and international celebrities to the Saudi capital, featuring live performances and a high-profile award ceremony. Hundreds of thousands of tulips are up for grabs at Amsterdam Museum Plein to mark Dutch National Tulip Day. Held under the theme United in Bloom, the event officially launched. The Netherlands cut tulip season runs until the end of April. The country produced around 2 billion cut tulips during the 2025 season. Dozens of pet owners gathered at a church in southern Mexico City on Saturday to have their animals blessed on the feast day of Saint Anthony Abbot, the patron saint of animals. The annual ceremony marks his death anniversary. Saint Anthony gave his inheritance to the poor and led a monastic life in the desert with only animals for company. Residents in Ukraine's capital Kyiv queued in sub-zero temperatures for hot meals distributed by World Central Kitchen as power and heating shortages persisted. Ukraine's government has declared an energy emergency. And still to come on DD India News Hour. Minorities hold protest rally in Bangladesh demanding immediate action by government to stop rising violence. Indian Coast Guard ship Sankalp arrives at Port Louis as part of its ongoing overseas deployment to friendly foreign countries in the Indian Ocean region.
Geopolitics and trade deals. Economic challenges amid development. Hard work and the path to prosperity. It's the economy. Always. Between walkers, money is what money does and says. Supply creates its own demand. Between the bulls pulls and bears tears. When supply chains globalization and India rises to the podium. We'll get you centered with the economic brief at 8 p.m. every Thursday on DD India.
You're watching DD News Hour. I'm Siddharth Bharadwaj, and a quick recap of the headlines. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to lay the foundation stone of the Kaziranga elevated corridor in Assam will also inaugurate development projects in West Bengal. US President Trump imposes 10% tariffs on 8 European nations from February 1st over Greenland row. EU ambassadors to hold emergency meeting. EU Mercosur bloc sign free trade deal after 25 years of negotiations amid concerns over global tariffs, isolationism. Various minority communities in Bangladesh on Saturday gathered in front of the National Press Club in Dhaka, demanding immediate government action to stop rising violence, anarchy and discrimination across the country. The protest rally was organized by the Bangladesh Minority Lawyers Unity Alliance, chaired by its convener, freedom fighter and senior Supreme Court lawyer Dr. J.K. Pal, and moderated by Alliance member Secretary Advocate Suman Kumar Roy. Senior lawyers, minority leaders and representatives of several organizations attended the demonstration and expressed solidarity. Advocate Suman Kumar Roy warned that continued violence has created fear among minority communities and could force them to consider drastic steps, including election boycotts. Dr. J.K. Pal said the state's failure to protect citizens' lives and property was deeply alarming and called on political leaders to act immediately to address the situation. And in Bangladesh, editors and media leaders on Saturday stressed that independent journalism remains the only institution capable of telling governments the truth, warning the attacks on the media threaten democracy and fundamental freedoms. At the Media Convention 2026 in Dhaka, the Daily Star editor Mahfouz Anam emphasized that governments, often surrounded by praise from party loyalists, bureaucrats and intelligence agencies, benefit most from independent journalism that exposes corruption, policy failures and public discontent. Pratham Olo editor Matteo Rahman highlighted the need for unity among journalists, warning that divisions weaken the profession and invite repression. Editors Council President and New Age editor Nurul Kabir condemned recent arson attacks on Pratham Olo and the Daily Star, along with obstruction of fire services as medieval barbarity that endangers all media houses. The event, organized jointly by the Newspaper Owners Association of Bangladesh and Editors Council, reaffirmed a collective commitment to independent, responsible and ethical journalism amid threats to press freedom. Union Minister of State for External Affairs Kirti Vardhan Singh attended the prize distribution ceremony of the Glimpses of India Painting Competition 2025 in the Egyptian city of Luxor on Saturday. Minister Singh appreciated the enthusiasm, creativity and artistic expression of the young participants, highlighting how such cultural initiatives strengthen people-to-people ties and foster greater understanding between India and Egypt. This event is part of ongoing cultural diplomacy efforts between the two nations, with Minister Singh also recently attending a Bharat Milan cultural festival in Egypt. Indian Coast Guard ship Sankalp arrived at Port Louis, Mauritius on Saturday as part of its ongoing overseas deployment to friendly foreign countries in the Indian Ocean region. The deployment is in line with India's maritime vision of Sagar, which is security and growth for all in the region, which seeks to promote regional maritime safety, security and environmental protection. In keeping with the Indian Coast Guard's emphasis on gender inclusivity in maritime operations, 2 women officers are embarked on board ICGS Sankalp, underscoring their expanding role in service and India's commitment to women empowerment in the maritime domain. During its stay at Port Louis, the ship will undertake a series of professional interactions with the National Coast Guard of Mauritius and other maritime agencies of Mauritius. On completion of its visit to Mauritius, ICGS Sankalp will sail for Seychelles as part of its continuing overseas deployment in the Indian Ocean region, further expanding India's maritime outreach and cooperation with key island nations. NASA's Space Launch System rocket, standing 322 feet tall and weighing 11 million pounds, successfully rolled out to launch pad 39B at Kennedy Space Center in Florida on Saturday. The massive vehicle carrying the Orion spacecraft moved slowly at about 1 mile per hour on a crawler transporter over a 4-mile journey that lasted approximately 12 hours, emerging at sunrise amid crowds of onlookers. The milestone advances preparations for the Artemis II mission, NASA's first crewed lunar flight in over 50 years. The 4-person crew will embark on a 10-day journey around the moon without landing, venturing farther from Earth than any humans before. A critical wet dress rehearsal involving propellant loading and countdown simulation is scheduled for early February, determining readiness for the earliest launch opportunity on the 6th of February. A 4-member Indian delegation led by Sanjeev Kumar, Secretary for Defence Production, is visiting Kenya to enhance bilateral defence manufacturing capabilities. The visit aims to promote India's defence exports and foster industrial cooperation. The highlight will be India's participation in the 3rd India-Kenya Defence Exhibition in Nairobi. Exhibition is organised under the Brand India scheme of Department of Defence Production. The event will witness participation from 20 Indian defence companies from both public and private sectors, showcasing a wide range of defence products and services. Union Minister of State Independent Charge for Earth Sciences Dr. Jitendra Singh visited the Atal Centre for Ocean Science and Technology for Islands in Sri Vijayapuram in Andaman and Nicobar Islands on Saturday to launch and review pilot projects aimed at boosting India's blue economy and strengthening marine technology initiatives. Dr. Singh highlighted key projects including open sea cage fish farming and large-scale seaweed cultivation, along with integration of biotechnology under the Bio-E3 policy. He emphasized the potential of marine bioresources for biodegradable alternatives, medicinal compounds and export-oriented products. Stressing women's participation in self-help groups, he said these initiatives will generate employment, support livelihoods and position the Andaman and Nicobar Islands as a major hub of India's blue economy. India has rolled out the second pan-India estimation of riverine and estuarine dolphins under Project Dolphin, expanding efforts to strengthen conservation of the species from Bijnor, Uttar Pradesh. The Union Minister of Environment, Forest and Climate Change, Bhupendra Yadav, has launched the second nationwide population estimation of riverine and estuarine dolphins from Bijnor in Uttar Pradesh. The initiative follows the first round of population estimates released in March last year by Prime Minister Narendra Modi. The survey, coordinated by the Wildlife Institute of India, Dehradun, along with state forest departments and conservation partners, will assess the status of Ganges, Indus and Irrawaddy dolphins. Researchers will use boats and technologies such as hydrophones to record ecological and habitat data. The New Delhi World Book Fair has reached its final day, but the excitement at Bharat Mandapam shows no signs of slowing down. On its 8th day, visitors flooded the halls, queued up at book stalls and attended a lively schedule of discussions showcasing India's rich literary, cultural and creative diversity. The New Delhi World Book Fair 2026, held from January 10th at Bharat Mandapam, New Delhi, featured free entry for the first time and highlighted themes like Indian military history, valor and wisdom at 75 with a dedicated pavilion and digital library. Guest of honor country this year is Qatar, while Spain is the focus country. With over 3,000 stalls and 2 million visitors, the fair provided a massive platform for publishers, authors and readers to connect, celebrate literature and engage in meaningful dialogue.
See, the young generation, the young parents have become more conscious about, getting the books in front of their kids now. That's a very, very welcome change, especially after COVID. And what I personally see, just look around. So many schools have sent their children for the book fair. So many parents are around here with their little ones, and just exploring the books and buying the books. The trend is back. When the gadgets came, people thought that this trend will get over. And everybody was scared. The publication houses were very scared when the e-books were launched. But today, if you see, we are back. We're back to our traditional forms. And that's exactly, I think, that is what a human touch and the nature, when we combine the nature and the human, it it becomes a real good partnership.
Since the morning I've been here looking after so many books and the stalls. It's rising on a very high level, I can say for sure, and especially like promoting it on this level at the national level, and it's like a world book fair, so it's gonna rise so much, and it's such a good thing that our youth is focusing on reading books. And it's not just they are when we say that Gen Z is about social media and internet, it's not just they are not confined to that. They are reading books, they are coming out, and especially when we have a new section on children's, like kids section, so that's also a good thing, I think.
India is a very promising publishing industry. If you go by statistics, we are third largest publishing ecosystem in the world. And if you go by numbers, we have the largest consumer of this publishing ecosystem, with a very large number of academic education framework that we have in terms of more than 300 million students that we have. So largely I see that growth of publishing in India is very encouraging.
Moving on to weather updates, cold wave conditions and dense fog blanketed parts of Delhi on Sunday morning as temperatures dipped to 4.8 degrees Celsius. Dense fog reduced visibility across the national capital, impacting flight operations at Delhi airport and lending to delays. Meanwhile, authorities have reimposed the Graded Response Action Plan, or GRAP 3, across Delhi NCR, banning non-essential construction and demolition activities. Let's take a look at other stories making news. The annual Sattur Chariot Festival was celebrated with devotion and grandeur in Mysuru, Karnataka on Saturday. The celebrations were inaugurated by Sattur Sri Shivaratri Desi Kendra Swamiji. Colorful folk performances and the simultaneous movement of small and big chariots marked the event, drawing large crowds of devotees. The International Shivratri Festival 2026 commenced with great devotion at the historic Baba Bhutnath Temple in Mandi, Himachal Pradesh on Sunday. Thousands of devotees reverently adorned the sacred shivling with more than 21 kilograms of pure butter, continuing an age-old tradition. The celebrations will culminate on Mahashivratri. The two-day Uttarad Mahotsav is underway at the iconic Modhera Sun Temple in Gujarat, celebrating the sun's northward journey after the winter solstice. The prestigious festival showcases the sacred Guru-Shishya tradition, with renowned artists performing classical dance forms under the moonlit grandeur of the Sun Temple. Thousands of devotees thronged Uttar Pradesh's Prayagraj on Sunday to mark Mauni Amavasya for a holy dip at the Sangam during the ongoing Magh Mela. Mauni Amavasya is a divine occasion in Hindu religious practice followed for honoring ancestors. Observed as one of the most sacred days in Hindu calendar, devotees perform ritual bathing, prayers and charity. It is believed to bring immense spiritual merit. And still to come on DD India News Hour. BCCI announces women's white ball squad for upcoming Australia tour. Hosts Morocco take on Senegal in the final of the Africa Cup of Nations tonight.
Jharkhand will mesmerize you with majestic nature, rich heritage and colorful culture.
Hello. Johar. It fits perfectly.
Thank you.
Full workout ho gaya.
Ready?
Postcards from Jharkhand on National Geographic.
You're watching DD India News Hour. I'm Siddharth Bharadwaj, and time now for some sports news. With the series finally poised at 1-1, India and New Zealand gear up for a high-voltage decider in Indore on Sunday. India enter the final ODI with questions over the bowling combination. Kuldeep Yadav struggled for control, and even Ravindra Jadeja's form remains a concern. At the batting-friendly Holkar Stadium, discipline with the ball and early breakthroughs will be crucial as India look to protect their perfect record on this ground and seal the series. DD India correspondent Narayan Singh brings more on this.
With the series locked at 1-1, the third and the final ODI between India and New Zealand in Indore on Sunday shapes up as the high-stakes showdown where precision will matter more than flair. India entered the decider with concern over their bowling combination after their spinners was outplayed in the first two matches. The defeat in Rajkot exposed the cracks in the middle overs, an area that long has been India's fortress. New Zealand's batter, led by Daryl Mitchell, dismantled the control with smart footwork and fearless sweeping, turning spin into scoring opportunities. Kuldeep Yadav, usually India's middle-over weapon, struggled to impose himself. Attacked for both length and trajectory, he was denied rhythm as the Kiwi batters read him early and disrupted India's plans. As a unit, India's spinners failed to build sustained pressure, a stark contrast to New Zealand's slow bowlers who squeezed India through the middle overs and forced errors. Now the spotlight shifts to Indore's Holkar Stadium, a venue where bowlers walk a tightrope and batters hold the whip. With the short boundaries and a fast outfield, discipline becomes non-negotiable. The absence of Washington Sundar was clearly felt in Rajkot, while Nitish Kumar Reddy bowled only 2 overs. Condition may prompt the team management to consider an off-spin option like Ayush Badoni, even strengthen the pace attack. Left-arm pacer Arshdeep Singh could be a valuable addition, offering a fuller length on a ground where back-of-the-length bowling can be costly. Mohammad Siraj set to lead the attack, with early wickets holding the key to breaking New Zealand's platform. With the bat, India are unlikely to tinker with their core. Rohit Sharma, Shubman Gill, Virat Kohli, KL Rahul and Shreyas Iyer remain central to the plan. India's perfect record at Holkar offers confidence, but in a series decider, execution, not history, will decide the winner. Narayan Singh for DD India.
All right, indeed, India's Narayan Singh joins us on the story. Hi, Narayan. A very good morning to you. We just saw your report, Narayan. It's indeed a wonderful report. And you mentioned that the Holkar Stadium is a batting paradise. So bowlers are likely to struggle. What is the bowling combination that the men in blue will play this time around in your assessment? Because it's just 1-1 and it's a series decider this time.
Good morning, Siddharth. It's a series decider, as you mentioned. And as you mentioned, the bowling combination. But before that, I will come into the fact that before this, New Zealand has visited India for one-dayers, 16 occasions, and 4 times for the World Cup and along with the Champions Trophy. But they never won the series at the end. But this time around, if you take a look, they are on verge of it. In previous occasion, 3 times they managed to go for a decider. But if you take a look, the recent history between the rivalry of the two countries, in the last season in the Test cricket, New Zealand had never won a series in India. But that time they won a series. Not only won, they whitewashed India. First time ever. So in that context, and that is because they are not their full team. It's their B or C team. You can say that a very inexperienced team in that context. If you take a look, their 15-member squad, 8 players are first time they are coming to India, and 2 players they have never played an international cricket, and 5 players have an experience of less than 10 matches under their belt. So in that context, we can say that it's not a good thing for the Indian team who are playing with their full strength, their full team. And so I think today the bowling combination, as you mentioned, the loss of the Washington Sundar, we saw that in his he was replaced by Ayush Badoni. But in the last match, we saw Washington in place of Washington Sundar. We saw that they brought Nitish Kumar Reddy, who bowled only 2 overs. So we know that Washington Sundar, the BCCI, the management is looking him as a future and just taking him as a pilot project for the one-dayers. But so far, the story hasn't been too successful. But we know that talk about the conditions here, as you mentioned about the Holkar Stadium, it's a batter's paradise, and we know that it is the pitch where Virender Sehwag scored 219 runs, and in that match, India scored more than 400 runs. So it will be a very, we can say, the tightrope situation for the bowlers, and because the boundaries are also too short and the wicket is also very flat, so it will be the testing condition for the bowlers, and we know that in that context, they should bring Arshdeep Singh, who hasn't played a single match in this ODI series. So I think today Arshdeep we might see, because he's a decider and he's a proven match winner in the past we have seen. So Arshdeep should be there, Mohammad Siraj should be there, and maybe Prasidh Krishna may be dropped, and Kuldeep Yadav should bowl more in a more better way, the way he bowled in the previous match in Rajkot. Till the arrival of the Kuldeep Yadav in Rajkot, we saw the match was finally balanced, but the way Daryl Mitchell targeted him, he turned the chase into a cruise. So I think today Kuldeep will not repeat that mistake, and definitely India is a very strong team, and we think they will start this new year with the series, win a series on a positive note.
Well, definitely we'll have to wait and see what will happen. It's the decider today at Holker Stadium. Which team will take the trophy? That time only will decide, Narayan. Thank you so much. The Board of Control for Cricket in India has announced Indian women's ODI and T20I squads for the upcoming tour to Australia. Spinner Shreyanka Patil and batter Bharti Fulmali return to the T20I squad, while wicketkeeper Gunalan Kamalini and left-arm spinner Vaishnavi Sharma earned maiden ODI call-ups. Kashvi Gautam was also added to the 15-member ODI squad, while pacer Arundhati Reddy and left-arm spinner Radha Yadav were dropped. India will play 3 T20Is and as many ODIs between February 15 and 1st of March. Now, India registered a thrilling 18-run victory over Bangladesh in their second match at the ICC Under-19 World Cup 2026 on Saturday. The rising star Vaibhav Suryavanshi slammed 72, while wicketkeeper batter Abhigyan Kundu made 80 as India posted 238 after batting first. Suryavanshi became the youngest player to score a 15 Under-19 World Cup history and also surpassed Virat Kohli in the list of players with the most runs in youth ODIs. However, rain forced the match to be shortened to 29-over match, with Bangladesh needing 165 runs to win. From 106 for 2, Bangladesh slumped to 146 all out in the revised chase. With 4 wickets, Vihan Malhotra was the pick of the bowlers for India. India will next play New Zealand on January 24. The Tata Steel Chess Tournament, known as the Wimbledon of Chess, took off on Saturday in Wijk aan Zee, Netherlands, where the focus is on D. Gukesh, R. Pragnananda, Arjuna Egesi, alongside Arvind Chittambaram. DD India's Mark Limburg has more on the ongoing tournament.
I'm standing here in Wijk aan Zee in the Netherlands, where the first moves have been played at the Tata Steel Chess Tournament 2026, often called the Wimbledon of Chess. This year marks a historic moment, with a record of 4 Indian players competing in the Masters section. Among them are the reigning world champion D. Gukesh and last year's winner Pragnananda, underlining India's extraordinary rise as a global chess powerhouse. On this opening day, the focus is on fresh pairings, early signals of intent, and the long battle ahead in a tournament where every single move can make the difference. As the players enter the hall, take their seats and begin their games, all eyes are on the 4 Indian competitors in the Masters section. Each brings a different approach to the board. Gukesh's sharp preparation, Pragnananda's tactical intuition, Erigaisi's dynamic attacking style, and Chittambaram's solid positional play. Together, they represent the depth and promise of Indian chess on this historic stage.
Yeah, I mean, for any chess player, winning Tata Steel is like one dream.
With some of the world's strongest players and a record of 4 Indian players competing here in Wijk aan Zee, the Tata Steel Chess Tournament 2026 promises to be an exciting 2 weeks of top-level chess, from opening ideas to decisive moments. We'll be here to follow the games, the players, and the stories as they unfold. Mark Limburg reporting for DD India from Wijk aan Zee, the Netherlands.
Host nation Morocco will clash with Senegal in the summit clash of the Africa Cup of Nations tonight in Rabat. Morocco have reached the final for the second time, while Senegal appear for their 4th overall and first since winning the title in 2021. Across the tournament, the hosts have won 4 matches and drew 2. They advanced past Nigeria on penalties in the semi-finals. Senegal also arrive at the final unbeaten. The team has won 5 games and drew once. Senegal defeated Egypt in the semi-final. This final is the first AFCON meeting between Morocco and Senegal, but the 32nd overall encounter between the two nations. In head-to-head, Morocco hold 18 wins to Senegal's 6 with 7 draws. And paddle boarders have near freezing temperatures in Lake Annecy in French Alps to participate in the Gla Race 2026. The excitement among the organizers and the participants are at its peak. Let's take a look. That's all for this edition of DD India News Hour, but let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. For those on the go, you can get all the latest news and updates from India and across the world on DD India mobile app. The app is available on both Android and iOS platforms, and you can scan the QR code on the screen to download now. We'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Siddharth Bharadwaj from all of us here in Delhi. Thanks for watching DD India News Hour.